Hey y'all, I'm Eboni K. Williams here, host and attorney extraordinaire. Welcome to Holding Court, where we analyze the very latest in legal headlines, the ones that got all the streets talking. You know what we do? We dig deep into how the courts impact the culture. We break it down, going straight from gavel to your news feed. And every week, we keep it 100. Right, Dustin Ross?
That's right.
Dustin Ross, my lovely love. I'm going to start with you. Tell me what you did over the weekend. I already sidebarred you and told you a little bit about what I did on my weekend.
Yes, you did.
How was your weekend?
My weekend was great. I've been in intense rehearsal and preparation for my shows on March 17th here at City Winery in New York City. There's still just a few tickets left for the second show at 9:30 p.m. So you can head to citywinery.com and look up Dustin Ross. It'll send you right goddamn there. But just been deep in preparation, deep in the corner pockets of preparation for my show, and being made to smile by great messages like what I got from you and the lovely Natalie this weekend. So I just was working. I had my head down, friend, all damn weekend. What about you, Eboni?
You were preparing for St. Dustin Day. I know that's right.
Yes, ma'am.
So yes, as you know, Natalie and I, we were outside. The aunties were outside Friday night, and we went to see a classic R&B artist by the name of Dave Hollister.
Yes, you did. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Also at City Winery. And as we looked up, perusing through our glasses of wine and charcuterie, we saw a life-size, huge poster, a projected image of your gorgeous face promoting your upcoming event there at City Winery. And it just made me smile so big. Really, I shrieked. I told you, I was like, I gave me one of those. Because it's like, we know it's coming. We know it's real. We have our tickets. But when you're at another show and then you see that like coming up, it was just really exciting.
That made me feel good. If I'm in a room that you and Natalie are in and I'm not in the room, that's a good thing. Like,
there you go.
That's a good thing.
There you go. You were in the room, but you weren't in the room, but you were in the room.
Yeah, and again, a room that you was in. You know what I'm saying? So if Eboni K. Williams and our girl, the lovely Natalie, are there, then that's a room I want to be in. So I was happy. I was happy as hell to see that. Thank you for the love.
No, it was good. Dave Hollister gave us everything he had to give. And we appreciated that. And it was lots of fun. And what I loved about it, I told you, it was like, this is a really nice time slot. He performed at 6 o'clock. He did have a following show as well. But I was like, the good news about having a 6 o'clock show on a Friday, depending on your situation, you could take one woman out on a dinner date and be home by 9 o'clock, depending on your situation. Or if you're dating multiple women, which I encourage all single people to date multiple people until they narrow it down to the one. Men, women, they, them, and everybody. Whoever and everybody. You literally can double stack. Have you a 6 o'clock situation and a 9 o'clock situation, just like that. So I appreciate the efficiency, Dave Hollister.
I know that's right. And one thing about it, slight little pivot here. Back in the day, Dave Hollister used to have that shit on. Dave Hollister used to dress his ass off back in the day when he was actively producing albums and promoting albums. Okay. You're so smart. But he used to really have that shit on, like beautiful clothes. I remember one time he had like this black mink like pullover on and like textures, layers, back then he used to have it on. So I look, I think
he still appreciates textures.
Okay.
I think the fit is different.
Okay.
Yeah, the fit is different these days. But I do appreciate the effort because he definitely did give us a look. It was a look. If you were there, you were there. Let's say I didn't look toward the light.
I got it. And sometimes that's safer, right?
Yeah.
That's safer sometimes.
Yeah. But his voice is very much intact. And so when I go see these legacy performers, that's what I'm looking for.
That's
Give me, as long as the vocals are still intact, as long as you can give us he did a little Blackstreet medley. I appreciated that before I let go.
Oh, yes, hitting those notes.
That was
I was just thinking about that song, Favorite Girl, and just Dave Hollister got some.
Perform that.
Girl, I Gotta Go, I Can't Stay. He got a lot in the canon, so yes, good. Well, that was fun. It was good. That was the
highlight of my weekend. Other than that, me and Baby Liberty kind of hung out and did our thing.
It was
all lovely, all lovely. Oh, I will put this out here. Sunday morning, I was able to join New York One Spectrum, you know, our favorite news channel here at
We
Holden
love New York One. It's just New York One.
really
It's comfort television, yes.
It really
and
is, y'all.
informative.
If y'all are not in the Metro New York area, y'all really missing it. We really do. I'll put our local news up against anybody in America.
Hell yes,
It
yes.
is just shout out to New York One. So myself and my Links chapter president, I'm in Greater New York's chapter of the Links. Shout out to President Denora Gatacho. We were able, Dustin, to go do a segment promoting our upcoming Black Family Wellness Expo.
I love
this is happening, yes, right here in Harlem. As to y'all listening to this episode of Holden Court, it's going to be just a few days away. Y'all are getting this Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, March 15th. Saturday, March 15th, 11:30 to 4 p.m. We're going to be pull up to the church, pull up the Abyssinian Baptist Church, and we are going to be doing all the things. Health screenings, Dustin, heart scans, cholesterol, all of that stuff, talking about all the things that Black families, multi-generationals, from the kids to the pawpaws, need to know as we make sure that we're healthy and that we're staying around and in a part of our community. We're going to have fun, games, raffles, all the things.
That's it. Go connect, y'all, if you're in New York. And if you're not, just drive here, get here.
Free 99.
That's right.
Pull on up. Harlem, Saturday, March 15th. And then
That's
just a couple of days after that, after you done got your heart situation regulated, you done got your screening, you got your good, clean bill of health, pull on up to City Winery.
That's right.
And get that other medicine, that laughter.
You see how we putting you on? It's just it's a circle, right?
It's a smorgasbord.
That's it. That's what it is. Yes. Well, congratulations, and I know it's going to be an incredible event for you guys, Eboni.
It's going to be great. So also going to be great is this docket here. We're going to get into a couple items here. A lot of y'all were tagging Dustin and myself and having questions now about what the hell is going on with the young, beautiful Halle Bailey. Shout out to the Little Mermaid, but also her co-parenting situation. I suppose that's what it is now, with the ex-boyfriend DDG. And I always struggle because I know he's supposed to be a rapper, but isn't he really kind of like a gamer? But you tell me, because you really are more pulse of the culture in this regard, Dustin.
You know,
How
it's
would
funny.
You describe them? Yeah.
When their relationship first became public, I was just as confused as everybody else, you know, because there's a age gap between his audience and really what kind of makes its way towards me.
Yep.
But once I found out about him and did my research on him, he's actually a wildly successful streamer on YouTube and Twitch.
That part
all
I
that
do
other
know.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Very successful streamer and also a good
he'll play
artist.
like video games, live streaming. People will send money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
People will come and do interviews or share space with him. He has a very popular YouTube channel that is lifestyle based, where you see him with his family. He's very family oriented.
Beyond the son, you're talking about.
Beyond his baby, beyond their child
okay.
together. I'm talking about his actual family, his mom, his brothers, his cousins, people that work with his company that are in his family, and you kind of follow their stories too. And he actually does make good music. He has a new song out right now called Pink Dress that I love. With another streamer who also makes music named Plaque Boy Matt. So there's this whole community of
Did you
young...
say Plaque Boy Matt?
Plaque. P-L-A-Q-U.
Oh, Plaque. Okay,
yep.
thank you. Thank you for the clarity.
Plaque Boy Max. But so in his own right, he is very successful and he makes a lot of money. He owns property in California and Michigan, where I'm from and where he's from. He's from Pontiac, Michigan, which is right in between Detroit and Flint. So I was actually impressed with the things that I found out once I did the work to get to know who he was, because I was like, who is this little nigga that she's ruining her life with? That's what I thought immediately.
And then upon further inspection, he does
said,
well. No.
Okay.
Yeah. And so this is great. This is great context, Dustin, because I think a lot of people don't know all that you just laid out. At best, I think some of us know he not broke, for sure. He does very well. We know it's something digitally, but this is great. You gave us a really nice, thorough resume. He really should have you opening up for his ass.
You know, that's what I'm here for. You know what I'm saying?
So the reason he's on the docket, though, y'all, is because he has taken to social media. He claims begrudgingly, jury's still out on that, to express frustration, disappointment, upsettedness that he is not able to spend the time that he wants with his son, baby Halo. Let's see if we can just listen from his own mouth to hear some of his complaints. We'll play a little bit of that.
Every single day or every other day, I'm trying to see him. I'm trying to get him to come over or whatever. I never get him dropped off. I always go pick him up. I live far as shit. So I'm driving hours to go get him, and then I get there and I can't get him. Or I can't see him. My son is sick right now. I want to see my son. I want to hold my son. I want to, you know what I'm saying? I just want to comfort him. I want to put him in the shower, get some steam in his nose so he can feel better. I don't get the chance to do that. I get pinned against the wall, and then everything else is variables on why I can't see my son.
Okay, so he's saying, a lot there that he is upset. Then he deleted one of his posts, but then he went online and kind of went back into the soliloquy of it all. He's saying he feels like the nanny. He's saying that he's going to try to get the son and getting turned away. I mean, he's saying a lot. He's driving hours to see the son and can't see him, saying that he's now on the internet, Dustin, as a last resort. He even released a song on social media, speaking of the musical aspect, Don't Take My Son. When you're seeing all this, and we'll get to some more facts in a minute, but I just want to get first impressions, Dustin. When you saw this showing up on your social, your thoughts were?
Immature mess. Okay. Immature mess that should not even be on my plate, in my lap, in my awareness, any of that. I'm not your baby daddy. She ain't my baby mama. I ain't related to neither one of you motherfuckers, and these very personal matters about y'all's business are not my own. I also understand that DDG is a person who is a lot younger than me, and the internet, he was born into the age where social media was a thing. So whereas people from our generation are a bit more private when it comes to personal matters in the internet.
Let's say some.
Some. The ones with sense are a little more private. You know what I'm saying? With our personal information. For his generation, they don't understand that. They have to be taught that because what comes natural to them is oversharing. Second of all, I don't believe him when he says that going to the internet was his last resort. He may have had a couple of disagreements about what these custody matters, but nigga, you make money on the internet. You definitely understand the power of reaching people with information, and you did this on purpose because you knew your video would get a lot of hits. You knew you would get lots of engagement and impressions and ultimately profit from this oversharing via the internet. So I don't buy that. Also, they were in a happy relationship. I don't know what they did to break up because Halle hasn't told us anything. Hello, DDG, ding, ding, ding. But something had to happen on his behalf. I'm assuming, he probably cheated or did something wrong that caused them to dissolve their relationship. Halle was all in. She hid that pregnancy. We know she didn't want us in her business then, so leave us out of it now. That's how I feel. And I put the fault of all of this on DDG personally. They need to work that out in the courts because they're very young and very passionate, and their frontal lobe is still developing. So listen, work it out in the courts and leave us out of it. That's what I think. And I blame him. Okay.
You said a lot of great stuff there, Dustin. I want to start, I'm trying to decide, like, any, meeny, miny, mo. I want to actually start with, they're so young. I'm laughing because I'm realizing that I'm a bit of a, I don't know. I'm hard on the age thing because remember last week's episode you were like, well, Carol Huger, I don't like to see an old lady, but is she old though? 61.
So that's what we had with these Halle.
I'm coming
DDG.
On the other side of it.
Okay.
They're young. Okay, now I just looked it up because I wanted to be accurate. Halle Bailey is 24. So in that specific scenario, I'm going to give her young because she actually, biologically speaking, is still developing her frontal lobe, and I think 24. I can say young on that. DG is 27, and I'm not saying he's not young yet, but he is getting closer to full throttle adult. Then he's so young. Because I feel like people used to say that about Chris Brown for a long time, and we looked up and the motherfucker was 36.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we have to be. I think as the grandma and grandpa millennials that we are, Dustin, I think that we get to gatekeep a little bit around this. Who's so young? Who's so young that they're, and this is just my opinion, right? But I do think some of that they're just young. Fuck all that.
I agree, because there's a difference between 27 and 24 to me. So I agree.
And 22. Like, I think when I was first reading it, thinking, okay, well, these are 22, 23-year-old kids. Maybe even, like you say, 24. But the closer you get to 30, I'm less inclined. I guess I'm trying to make the point, right? I'm less inclined to just give you, oh, this is just young kids being foolish. Some of this also is generational, Dustin. He's probably acting very young. And I think we as a society allow that juvenile ass behavior too long, I guess. So really this is an indictment on my part by society as much as them specifically. I think we need to bring back the era of you 24, 25. Okay, you get to be grown now. But if you can't be on mama and daddy health insurance, I think that you're not so young no more. And I think that we need to kind of start framing it maybe a little bit tighter about who's so old that they evade responsibility and who's so young that they evade responsibility. Because I believe in, if you want to act grown, you're gonna get treated grown. But that's just me. Okay, now to the legal facts. I totally agree with you, Dustin. I'm not buying for 1 second this, I came to the internet as a last resort. I don't know where to go. I don't know what else to do. Sir, knock it the fuck off. Here's what we know for sure. You know exactly where to go. This is literally why we have family court. Now, I understand that there is a cultural, I think, preference to avoid court by all measures and by any means. And I understand why, particularly when we as Black folk invite the so-called man into our business. Now we've literally got the government hand, particularly in this cultural political moment. I can see where one would be dissuaded from inviting a governmental entity into your family business, your most personal business as it relates to your young baby child. And also, Dustin, if it's as bad as you say it is, DDG, if it really is, I haven't seen my son in months, let you tell it. If it really is, she/they are bullying me. If it really is, let me, baby, please see my son. And this is the only way you can get to me. Because he definitely implied that, that this is a tactic Halle is using to hurt him or get to him, because he doesn't care. He so doesn't care what she does with her romantic life. He's so over their personal relationship. So she knows this is the only thing that she can do to hurt him, which we've heard a million times. Right. If it's that bad, then I must point you to the direction of your local courthouse. I must. And everyone in the comments was doing the same, because if you have no other course of action, then the court then becomes the last resort, not the internet, sir. The internet is being used, like I didn't even really think about it, but you're right, Dustin. I think it's first and foremost being used as a commercial vehicle to get money and increase his revenue, because that is his primary source of income, okay? But secondarily, Dustin, I want to know your take on this. I think he's using it to control the narrative between him and Halle Bailey around who, like you said, is the victim and who is the aggressor. And this is, he's getting in front of a narrative, because like you said, she's keeping it real cute. She's not giving us any information outside of letting us know that her and baby Halo were sick and that they literally have RSV, which is nothing to play with. It actually can be deadly. And that they're resting, they're rehabilitating, they are, healing, quite literally healing together in the home. So she's playing it that way, like you say, maintaining privacy. He's doing the opposite. To me, this is him trying to regulate a narrative that demonizes her as a bitter, Black, single mom that, quote, either left or got left, wasn't willing to put up with the bullshit to make it work, heavy on make it work with the baby dad. And now you're going to demonize and paint her as the villain.
Yeah, 100% agree.
I'm not interested. So if I'm Halle Bailey, this is where I say, you know what, sweetheart, dear heart, don't worry about it. I'll help you figure out your dilemma since you clearly don't know where to go or what to do. I would go to the courthouse, Dustin, if I was Halle Bailey, and I wouldn't give a goddamn what anybody said about it, because you have taken it upon yourself, sir, to express that you are, paralyzed with indecision and a lacking of know-how. Let me be of service. I would take my black ass right on to, I'll swim my little mermaid ass to the courthouse. I would initiate a court-mandated visitation schedule that we could either execute through consent, meaning this is what I propose, this is what you accept, and we could do it a consent order, which is less costly and less adversarial, where both mother and father, in this case DDG and Halle Bailey, can agree that this is going to be the visitation schedule going forward. Or if it's past that point of amicable agreement and consent, then we could do it the old-fashioned way. I have my legal team suggest something, your legal team pushes back on it, we let the lawyers do the lawyering, they negotiate something that, ultimately we present to a judge, and let the judge decide what's fair and reasonable. And then that way, your little ass DDG ain't popping up to my house no more. You're not, as you're whining about on the internet, spending gas money and driving hours to no avail. We have a cemented custody and visitation schedule that we will both adhere to. And guess what, Dustin Ross? If either party, she or he, fails to comply with the mandated court-ordered visitation, they can and will be held in contempt of court. That's how we fix it.
It's that simple. And unfortunately, he opened the door to that sort of contact with the legal system by making this video. You know what I mean? He opened the door to that. I'm a person who firmly believe that you should do what you can times 10 to make any sort of co-parenting situation amicable for both of you. There's an opportunity there to really work together and have a confidant, have a whatever. There's just an opportunity there that I think a lot of people miss, getting caught up in ego, pride, and resentment. A lot of times legitimate resentment based on things that were done to them, and you just get caught up in the vacuum of emotions. You know what I mean?
And a lot of people are parenting through heartbreak. Let's just name it. And I don't wish that on anybody. It's actually part of the reason, honestly, listen. Nothing about this, Dustin, brings me any joy. I know it doesn't bring you any. Like when I see this isn't cute to me. This isn't content to me. No. This is watching a Black American family in heartache.
I don't like it.
And I really don't like it. I don't like it for either one of them, and I especially don't like it for baby Halo.
100% agree.
100% agree. And this is part of the reason that I decided to embark on my motherhood journey in a solo capacity. Because at my big age, I was mitigating this exact kind of risk. I was intentionally, because my frontal lobe is wholly developed.
Ready. Settled.
Wholly.
Rooted.
Settled.
Okay.
Getting to closer to the level of vintage than not.
It's a great place to be. They finally see our value.
Listen. And so with that seasoned frontal lobe that I possess, I have been through this, Dustin, not the baby part, but the heartbreak part. It was going so wonderfully until it wasn't part.
Devastation.
To the devastation, and it can be debilitating sometimes. So therefore,
look at Lauryn Hill.
Listen.
Did I say that? Oh my God.
Sir, you sure did. You sure did. Because it applies. That's why you said it. So listen, for some of us who know that is not a parenting environment that we would like to enter, this is why for me the solo choice made sense. But I do understand that's not for most people. I'm not even suggesting it for most people.
No, you're just talking about your business.
I'm just talking about my experience. For those that are like, well, why would you do that? This is an example as to why.
One of the reasons,
One of the reasons. And also, this happens every day. And for as horribly as this is playing out, we also see people that are much more successful in parenting through the heartbreak, in figuring it out and what it looks like. So I gave it to y'all. I gave you my legal take You know, I would march my little happy ass right on down to that courthouse if I was Miss Halle Bailey.
Tail fin and all. I put that shit on back from the movie. Put on your Little Mermaid shit. And go right on down there to the family court.
I go grab
put his
that
ass under the seat.
wig. Listen, under the seat. And I would make it very plain. Since you don't know what to do, let me help you. You started it, but I'm going to fucking finish it.
That's right.
And I would get that visitation schedule cemented, file stamped, and implemented so that we never again have to be on the internet crying, young sir, talking about how I wronged you, won't let you see the back. Because this is an age-old, very tired narrative. Now, are there women, Dustin, who do use their children, their babies as pawns? We know it. We absolutely know they do. But unless you're going to prove that with facts and evidence around me and my behavior, you are not going to sit on the motherfucking internet and defame me. The next thing he would be getting hit with is a cease and fucking desist, honestly.
100%. And another thing, too, I think that is of importance in this particular scenario, nobody's questioning DDG's
willingness to be a father.
Right. No one's questioning that. Thank you for standing in that gap for me, Ebony, because I was looking side to side in my head. But seriously, when we've seen him previously with Baby Halo, he's attentive, hands the fuck on, always. Sure. He appeared to have the baby all the time because we always saw content, videos, pictures of him in really funny, cute moments with that baby. So shout out to him for giving a damn, for wanting to be an active father. I think that is something that is great. And we love to see. We're not questioning his desire to be a father, his willingness to be a father. None of that is in question. We're just discussing the way that he's handling this circumstance connected to his fatherhood. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
No, and I think that's very true. This is not questioning the sincerity, right, of his true desire to spend time with his son, to be present, all that. So I do want to make it clear, though, too, Dustin, that Halle Bailey did tell us, she went online, she posted a video before all of this, before DDG started down this sob story of him not being able to see Halo. She had already let us know prior to that, Dustin, and apologized to fans, saying that she hadn't been posting content consistently because she was sick. So just for the chronological piece, making sure that the order of things is clear for our jurors. She had already said online, hey guys, me and the baby are sick. We are recovering literally from RSV. And she couldn't just left it as sick. She was specific with the illness. And again, as myself, a mother of a baby, that's a very serious thing. That's a very serious viral problem, illness that is in the vein of pneumonia. This is a respiratory problem.
That ain't no shit to play with.
That's not no shit to play with. It's definitely not no shit to play with this time of year as we are coming on the tail end of a very kind of infectious flu season, you know. So shout out to all the parents of all the little ones who were really just trying to make it through the winter to get on the other side of flu, pneumonia, and RSV. So the RSV got them. They're recovering. First of all, Godspeed to them and health to them in their recovery. And so I don't think that it was helpful. Let's imagine this, jurors. You're in your sick bed. You're trying to eat, hydrate, and do all the things you can to fully recover, you and the baby, with its very delicate, compromised immune system, by the way. And then you have to run across this bullshit with your child's father, again, demonizing you. You're saying that you're bullying, you're prohibiting, you're using the baby to hurt and weaponize your own son because of so-called hurt feelings because he's moved on romantically. No, again, this is where I got to take my ass to help you out, both on the legal front so that we have clear visitation so you don't have this problem anymore, sir, and also really to regain the narrative. Because I'm not going to concede the narrative around me as a mother, my son, and this family to you over my dead body.
That's right. That's right.
Period. Okay. Now we're going to move on to our second docket item. This one really got y'all in a tailspin. And I do understand why. We're talking about Jurnee Smollett, of course, the incredible actress, beautiful actress, and her ex-husband, Josiah Bell, It is hit all of the blogosphere that Josiah Bell is seeking half of it. So I'm going to tell y'all what the headline said, and then I'm going to tell y'all really kind of more so what it is legally. The headlines, Dustin, were saying that her ex-husband is coming for her childhood money and that he is seeking half of her childhood coin. Okay, that was the headline. And understandably, that set off fireworks all on the internet.
Right.
A little more accurate would be that Josiah Bell is seeking 50% of her retirement savings, including her SAG pension, but specifically, y'all, from the years of 2010 through the years of 2019. And those, of course, happen to be the years in which these two were legally married. Okay? So he's looking to circle back. He is looking to run the block back, but in this case, to recoup retirement funds that, from my legal estimation, he kind of, what we say, left on the table. This really should have already been decided and figured out and dispersed, if it was going to be dispersed, during their initial divorce hearing and settlement. But from 2010 to 2019, Jurnee Smollett was married to Josiah Bell. They do share one child, okay? And at the time of their divorce, here's what happened. He received a $1 million payment. That was just the settlement itself, okay? They lived in California. They were married in California. We all know California is a community property state. So that means everything earned and acquired. I'm going to say that one more time, Dustin. Earned and acquired from the years 2010 to 2019 is a part of the what? Community. And that means everything in the community upon divorce should be presumably equally distributed. That's how that works. In addition to his $1 million payout when they divorced back in 2019, he has also been receiving since then and continues to receive to this day $7,000 per month. That is a combination payment, y'all, of both child support and spousal support because, as you might imagine, Josiah Bell, he is a musician by trade, for those that are wondering. I did look at his Instagram. It looks like he's got about 1-2 shows that he's, from what I could gather, I'm not taking anything away from his musicianship, but it doesn't look to be a hugely profitable commercial endeavor at this point. Don't think it ever was hugely successful commercially, certainly not as compared to Jurnee Smollett, who we know has been making a very significant bag since she was 3 years old. Of course, we remember her from the early days of Full House. But this, I don't really remember a year or two period where she was not working. Whether it was Eve's Bayou, whether it was, a sitcom, whether it was
tons of
and obviously in the last 10 years, all the Tyler Perry movies, The Great Debaters with Denzel
Lovecraft Country,
yeah, HBO. One of my favorite series that was underrated and cut short too soon. Underground. Yep. Underground, you know it, baby. Yep. So this is a true working actress, baby. So she has amassed many, many millions of dollars over her career. Don't know the exact number, but safe to say many millions.
Absolutely.
Safely say many millions, yep. And hence his $1 million payout at the divorce. And then he's getting the spousal and child support. They have joint custody of their one child. And I think he's 11, something like that now. Of course, again, establishing that Josiah as the minimum earning partner in the relationship, that would make him legally a dependent, okay? Because that's how these marriages are assessed come times for divorce. You had a dependent spouse and a providing spouse, if you will. Jurnee Smollett is the higher earning partner, yes. Was the providing spouse, Josiah dependent. That's why he got spousal support, for those who are wondering. So without further ado, what's your thought? Because I know a lot of people were very mad, but were you mad, Dustin?
Well, yes, I wasn't mad, but here's how I feel about it. Right now, it's no secret. Jesse Smollett and I are very close. Yes. So there's a personal bias here for me, but taking that out of the situation, right?
Right. Because your frontal lobe is also developed.
Right. So I'm looking at this objectively, right? Taking my personal bias out of it, because I think it's fucked up how he's doing her. But taking that out of it, right? I think that the smartest thing for him to do would have been to taking that lump sum payout of close to $1 million. along with his alimony payments and the money that he gets from her monthly, and go on about his business, right? To me, this is a greedy money grab that it looks like he may be entitled to per state laws, like you just broke down so perfectly for us to understand, that he may be entitled to this. There's also the both sides argument, like, oh, well, if this happens with women, if these roles were reversed, I want her to get the money or whatever. So I get it, but to me, you got your $1 million bag. You should have taken that money, invested smartly, bought new studio equipment, and wrote a song, you know what I'm saying, to create some music, and done that. What this sounds like to me, and again, I want to be clear, I haven't discussed this with Jesse or anything like that. He's not telling his family's business, so I'm assuming here, right? But so I assume that he ran through that money he got. That $1 million settlement is gone. That $7,000 a month that he is getting is not enough for him to probably support the lifestyle that he's used to, or what he thinks he deserves or is entitled to, right? That false sense of entitlement.
Had grown accustomed to.
And he is seeking more money because he knows she got it. And I think that's fucked up when you're talking about the mother of your kid. You know what I'm saying? You're willfully creating that environment now, right? That is not peaceful. You are actually taking the peace out of it and disrupting it by coming back in with this shit and trying to get our money. That's why people reacted so strongly to that headline. Even though it was misleading, we still got close enough to the point, you know what I'm saying, that this nigga then came back trying to dig in her purse again. Get out her purse and get in your wallet. That's what you need to do to me. You know what I mean? So that's my take on this.
Yeah, I think that's about right, in the sense of, I think that reflects your take, Dustin. I think accurately reflects the general sentiment, right? Is get out of her wallet. Here's where I'll just be a little nuanced, but not really, not largely deviating from how you just laid it out. It's been clear in my legal analysis, if you haven't figured it out, I do believe that Josiah Bell is legally entitled to what he's asking for. Why? Because he's asking for his half of what was from the year of 2010 through 2019 only, acquired income. These are disbursements, yes, from projects that she did when she was a child, projects that, whether it was Eve's Bayou money or Full House money or things that she did before she ever met him, but the residual checks and the pension portions that she was earning during the 2010 to 2019 period was earned and acquired during their community period. And per California state law, it would be no different, y'all, than, let's say Jurnee Smollett was a police officer. Let's say she worked for LAPD. Let's say she worked for LAPD from 2002 through 2000 until this day. But during 2010 to 2019, she was married to Josiah Bell as said officer. He would also be entitled legally to her pension that was accrued from 2010 to 2019. So this isn't about rich and famous and none of that. This is just the way it goes. Okay? So this is, and the reason I'm breaking it down this way, jurors, is so you can know for your own self
what kind of niggas not to fuck with.
Listen, you better stay it playing for him, Dustin. I'm trying to stay here with it, but let's go ahead and go there with it, right?
Yeah.
Ma'am, sir, if you are a firefighter, if you are a teacher, if you are law enforcement, if you drive the bus, dead ass, okay, and you are acquiring pension payments, shout out to Good Benefits, for real. You should know that if you live in a community state property, and even some of you that don't, an argument could be made that your spouse, your legally binding spouse, has legal rights to a portion up to half of those benefits that you earned during the course of the marriage on a job that you had before you met that motherfucking ass. You need to know that. You need to know that. Okay, now, with all of that said, here's where I do think Josiah Bell is in the wrong. And this is why I say this so strongly, jurors, on every episode where one of these situations comes up about going back to the princess love a few episodes ago, and I don't want to be the bad guy, and I don't want to do too much. He's been good over here, so I don't want to ask for the max. I want to... No. Everything that you can get in the divorce settlement, You need to get on the front end. Because when you don't, I guarantee you, Dustin, there is no way, I believe, that whatever divorce lawyer was representing Josiah Bell in this divorce, and God knows, I hope he had a divorce lawyer, okay? I do not believe that any divorce lawyer worth their salt would have failed to advise him that he was legally entitled to half of this woman's SAG pension and retirement earnings at the time of the fucking divorce way back in 2019, 2020. I guarantee you this is how it went. He probably felt a way, like, first of all, gender roles, right? So low key, high key, whatever, I am the man, even though she's the rich and famous one, I am the man. We have at the time the child was very young. I'm trying to be, as, I don't want this to get ugly. I have to imagine. So let's just keep it cute. If she gives me $1 million flat, the $7,000 a month, I'll make that work for me and the son. Get us a place, and you said I can get half of her pension. Yeah, I don't know. I think between the $1 million and the $7,000 a month, we gonna be all right. So let's just leave that alone. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about her retirement. Let her keep that. I'll just take my $1 million and my $7,000 a month and go on about my business, and we'll kind of keep it kind of cute, because he still took that $1 million. Let's be clear. And then, as you said, Dustin, we done looked up. 5-6 years later, you done ran through that money. And I want to say this. I know $1 million sounds like a lot. I had a lot of sores. Shout out to the sores. Shout out to the friends. Like, he already got $1 million. Goddamn, she already gave him a shit ton of money. It's kind of like I said, who's young, who's old? $1 million is not a shit ton of money. Let me prove it to you. It's not a shit ton of money in LA or New York, DC or Chicago, and a lot of these, Miami, but it's especially not a lot of money, Dustin. When let's just break this down. 1/3 likely went to his lawyer or something like it, okay? Because divorce lawyers are some of the most expensive hourly rated lawyers you're gonna hire. Another third went to the government for taxes, okay? So really what you're talking about, conservative estimate, $400,000. Now, I'm not saying that's no money, Dustin, but you and I both know once we really go to spend that for housing or this or that, and assuming he's not having any other steady revenue, and even $7,000 a month, the point is it's not a shit ton of money. It's significant money. I'm not saying 400, 500,000, even if we just gave him a cool $500,000 total. That is money, but it's not a shit ton of money like y'all think, or the way even the headline lands.
Right, it's not. It makes perfect sense.
Okay, so therefore, let's say he takes his $500,000, he takes his $7,000 a month. Again, y'all are out here seeing in real time, non-famous, regular, middle-class Americans are paying $2,000 to $4,000 a month for rent, literally, every day, all across America. So him getting $7,000 a month, with groceries, with transportation, with insurance, y'all do the math. He's run out of money. And what I don't like is that you should have got everything you were going to get from me when you could have gotten it. And when I was in the check writing posture. Okay? That's what I'm going to call that. When I was in the check writing posture is when we should have settled up in fucking full. What I don't like about it, Dustin, is I already done wrote you. The checkbook is actually closed, sir. And you now coming on the back end to have me pull the checkbook back out when I have already financially situated myself under the reasonable assumption that I was done with your ass financially, and now you running it back on me, that is what I have a problem with. Yeah, you're legally owed it. Yeah, she's probably, y'all, surprise, gonna have to pay it or most of it. But I don't appreciate, it's kind of like somebody holding on to a check. You ever had that happen back in the old days? Hey, I wrote you a check, and then you just sitting on the motherfucker. And yes, it's your money, so yes, you have every right to cash it whenever you want. But you sitting on that is fucking with my balance.
My ledger. Yeah.
That's it. You fucking with the ledger, Josiah. And that's the part I don't appreciate.
Yep, and it is intentional, manipulative. It appears to be to me intentional, manipulative, and just unhealthy. So I don't like that part. But
not even if I want to say he's just desperate as hell, broke as hell, and and would like to not look like a bummy ass Negro, but unfortunately desperate times call for desperate measures. I'm not saying this is the case. I'm saying it could. Like one argument says it could be totally what Dustin's saying, y'all. He could just be trifling, mad still. Let me just hurt this bitch any way I can. That totally could be it. And it also could be, shit, I'd rather not have to look so grimy and broke. But guess what I am? Grimy and broke. So now I got to go crawling back to the last reasonable source of income I had, my ex-wife, and ask for what I should have collected on when I had the opportunity to the first time.
Yep, 100%. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah. So, y'all, I think that's kind of what it is. So, again, I'm not making any excuses for Josiah Bell, but I am presenting a reasonable legal argument that he is entitled to what is being allegedly asked for, and also the timing is absolutely fucked up. Sir, you should have got this money again when I had my checkbook out the first time when we actually divorced in 2019, 2020.
100%.
That's it. That's all, y'all. Hope that lands. Follow up. We're going to be right here, same time, same place. Court will be back in session. And in the meantime, I want to say it's getting spring, but, it's kind of playing with us, Dustin. It's
it is.
Kind of
still got to cover up. Let's be old for me. You still got to cover up your chest and your neck while you're outside.
And your legs.
Y'all.
I had my legs out yesterday and fucked around and found out.
See, you was being fast. I was being
showing
legs.
I was being 40 fast. I was being a 40-year-old fast ass.
That's what it was. Yeah, but yes, it is. Spring is about to spring in 1 second for us. Yes.
Yes. And in the meantime, what you want the people to do, Dustin?
Read your terms and read your conditions, please. Please. Yes.
Holding Court is produced by Uppity Productions. Host and executive producers here, Ebony K. Williams, yours truly, and the Dustin Ross. Executive producer in Dossie, McCraw. Our senior producer, Ashley Hobbs. Follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and any and everywhere you get your podcasts.